Madam Clerk?
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Before we start our meeting, we have some proclamations to give out. Officer Jacobson? Officer Jacobson? I know you're not Officer Jacobson. Whereas on Monday, November 17th, 2014, the police department received an emergency phone call from a convenience store located at 281 State Street in the city of Hackensack. And whereas Hackensack police officer Matthew Jacobson responded to the emergency call and found a customer had collapsed and was unconscious. And whereas Officer Jacobson immediately began to check the victim for vital signs and determined that the victim had stopped breathing. He then began to administer CPR until the Hackensack rescue units arrived. And whereas upon arrival, the Hackensack rescue units used a defibrillator to shock the victim, and whereas the victim began breathing on his own and was immediately transported to the hospital by the Hackensack ambulance squad, whose members stated that it was the quick action of Officer Jacobson that enabled a successful recovery for the victim. Now, therefore, I, John P. LaBrus, Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby commend Hackensack Police Officer Matthew Jacobson for his quick action upon arrival in performing CPR to save a life. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations and thank you, sir.
I'll give you my address, just in case.
Okay. I'm going to do you both separate. Whereas on Wednesday, November 5th, 2014, an emergency occurred in the area of Heath Place in the city of Hackensack. And whereas Hackensack police officers Alan D. Leon and Edmund Meneses responded to a report of a male attempting to break into a vehicle. And whereas Officer Alan D. Leon located the male who was holding a knife and who ignored the officer's request to put it down, and who then pointed the knife at Officer De Leon. And whereas the quick actions of Officer De Leon in distracting the male by utilizing a flashlight and the deployment of OC spray was able to wrestle the man to the ground and then handcuff him. Now, therefore, I, John P. LaBrus, Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby commend Hackensack Police Officer Alan De Leon on his apprehension of a dangerous suspect and for displaying great restraint in using lower levels of force to meet and combat the actor's resistance. Thank you very much, sir. Whereas on Wednesday, November 5th, 2014, an emergency occurred in the area of Heath Place in the city of Hackensack. And whereas Hackensack police officers Alan D. Leon and Edmund Meneses responded to a report of a male attempting to break into a vehicle. And whereas Officer Edmund Meneses located the male who was holding a knife and who ignored the officer's request to put it down, and who then pointed the knife at Officer Meneses. And whereas the quick actions of Officer Meneses in distracting the male by utilizing a flashlight and the deployment of OC spray was able to wrestle the man to the ground and then handcuff him. Now, therefore, I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby commend Hackensack Police Officer Edmund Meneses on his apprehension of a dangerous suspect and for displaying great restraint in using lower levels of force to meet and combat the actor's resistance. Thank you, sir. Real quick, before I turn this over to the director, and please, to the council, I'd like to congratulate you as well. Thank you. This is a sign of great police work. We have well-trained police officers who do their job and take their job seriously, and they know how important their job is and to do things the correct and right way. And the citizens and the council definitely, appreciate that. I'm now going to turn the mic over to Police Director Mordaga, real quick for a few words.
I'd like to call Reverend Greg Jackson up with me, and also Anthony Curidan from the Bergen County NAACP president. I can tell you that the reading of this proclamation summed it up as to the actions that these officers took. But I'd like to describe it a little more in detail. On the night in question, there was a call that came over the police radio dispatching these officers to that call. And the call was a suspicious individual possibly committing a burglary, dressed all in black. The officers arrived. They located this individual sitting on the curb, armed with a knife. Both officers ordered the individual to drop the knife, which he refused. The individual then stood up and started to advance towards the officers. Both of those officers drew their firearms. While pointing the firearms in his direction, they continued to scream for him to drop the weapon, which he refused and continued to advance on these officers. Officer DeLeon was able to get his mace and spray the mace in the face of the individual, and which time he reacted by bringing his arm up, one of the arms, to have the knife in his hand. At that particular moment, instantly, Officer Meneses tackled the individual, while at the same time, Officer DeLeon had grabbed the arm with the knife, wrestling the knife away from him, and the officers were able to subdue this individual with no harm. I will also say that this individual was 250 pounds, 6'5". It was later on determined that the individual involved was actually the person that called the police in the beginning to report this incident, because it was his intention to commit suicide and have these officers shoot him. So I congratulate the officers for the tremendous restraint that they did in doing this job. Reverend?
Good evening, everyone. I came tonight. I'm not a frequent attender of city council meetings, but I came tonight because I thought it was important in light of what's going on in our country. And I think that, our nation is on edge. And what happens in Ferguson and what happens in other parts of our nation because of social media, because of the television, and because of newspapers or whatever it is, it has a direct impact on small towns like Hackensack and other towns and communities around our nation. I think that what happens in Washington, the negativity and the divisiveness in our nation capital also impacts our communities. And people have lost respect for authority and lost respect for leadership. And so whenever something occurs positively in our community that speaks beyond position, because sometimes people get caught up in their position and their uniforms, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that in this case, it's a matter of attitude, when a person's attitude shows concern for the human beings. And I congratulate these officers for their restraint. I think it speaks well for our city. May your tribe increase in terms of all of the officers on the force in Hackensack as well as in our county. And I think that you took, it amazes me these days when I read that when an officer pulls his gun, he or she pulls it really to kill the other person or shoot I mean, I thought in the old days you would shoot the person in the shoulder, shoot him in the leg or whatever it is. I understand nowadays when you pull that gun, you pull it for one reason, and that is to kill the person. Otherwise, you don't pull the gun. I thank you for using your discretion and using your mind, and it says to me something about your heart. And the other thing I want to tell you, you guys look sharp. But not only in your uniform, you look sharp in your diversity. And I think that's what makes a great police department. Not all one race, not all one age, not all one size, not all one educational background, but a sense of diversity, because that's what Hackensack is. We are a very diverse community, and I think that our public servants should should reflect us. So thank you for your service, and thank you for your spirit of humanity, that it could have come out another way altogether. Tonight, Hackensack could have been Ferguson. And if you had shot that guy, trust me, this would be a different meeting tonight. But because you use your discretion, we're just proud of you and what you stand for. God bless you. Continue the good work.
Good evening, everyone. It's with, as they say, tiptoe happiness that I stand before you and get to address these young men. Some may know, some may not know. They may not know. I've been in law enforcement for 25 years, and I understand when you have such an encounter like that. And to, one, have perseverance through the encounter and employ yourself or deploy yourself with your training to avert any type of deadly force, I must commend you. I know it's not a great position to be in under present day and time, which, as you know, we're under stress right now. And I say we because I still put myself as part of the law enforcement community. The restraint you maintained during that time is deeply appreciated by everyone here. Folks here about the NAACP, they seem to think that we're challenging law enforcement. It's not so much a challenge of law enforcement, but it's accountability. You've shown your accountability. The city of Hackensack has shown their accountability, as the Reverend Jackson said, with the diversity. I commend you. I wholeheartedly commend you because I've been there before and I fully understand. So to continue to do the great job, know that the NAACP is not against you, but we're there to support you. In the same vein, support us and continue to do the great job you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kind words.
Okay. Okay, Deb, we ready? Okay, we need to approve the minutes. I'd like a motion to approve the meetings from CAL meetings and the regular meeting from September 2nd, 2014. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims. Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. And now for the cow and the regular meetings of September 16th, 2014. Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. City Manager's Report.
Okay, first item. The municipal court metal detectors have been installed, consistent with the rules governing the court. Number two, redevelopment news. The city has been receiving a lot of inquiries within our rehabilitation area. 210 Main will be before the planning board for its final approvals in December. This city has put a tremendous effort all its effort and work in the redevelopment planning and now in the implementation phase. And I am very pleased to be a part of that success within this city. League of Municipalities Convention, I've received a lot of positive feedback from the staff, the department heads who attended. I know myself, I attended sessions on budgeting, pension, personnel issues, procurement, risk management, and liability case law, which they gave us a test, and let me tell you, that was a hard test. I know some of you were there. December 1, time to celebrate the season. At 5:30 p.m. in the green, we will have the tree, menorah, and the Kwanzaa flag in the green. All are invited. We'll have carolers. If you're into Santa Claus, you can go sit on his lap. There will be a trolley running on Main Street. There'll be hot chocolate. And most of all, seeing old friends, meeting some new friends, strengthening our relationships with each other to keep Hackensack moving forward in a positive way. Number 5, it's Thanksgiving time. City Hall will be closed Thursday and Friday. Obviously, emergency essential personnel will be there. It's not going to snow tomorrow. But I have a family tradition in my home when I sit down with my family before we eat. And everyone is supposed to say one thing that they're thankful for the year. And I'll share what I'm going to say to my family, is that I am very thankful that I've been given this opportunity to serve in this great city of Hackensack. Thank you, Mayor, Council, and the citizens, and more importantly, working with men and women that are not afraid to do what's right. What happened tonight, what we celebrate tonight, is awesome, and I just thank God for this opportunity. And Mayor, that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, very good. Okay, resolution 437-14.
Is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 43-2014, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of the bargain and sale deed for property located at Block 308.01, Lot 3, otherwise known as Lot C, from the City of Hackensack for the purposes of effectuating the conveyance approved by resolution of the City Council dated May 17th, 1954. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Have a motion open to the public, please?
Offer it.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. At this time, anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance only, please step forward to the mic and give your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Before we continue, I just want to, on the record, again, publicly thank Al Dib for his finding on this, because had he not found this, we wouldn't be reading this final part of this ordinance tonight and be able to acquire this property. So thanks to Al Dib. Go ahead, Deb.
Okay, now we need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Offered.
A second from Leo. Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 43-2014 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Okay. Resolution 438-14.
Is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 34-2014, an ordinance amending Chapter 108 entitled Limousine Services of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code to amend Section 1 entitled Definition. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
May I please have a motion to open to the public?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody who'd like to speak on this ordinance, and this ordinance only, please come to the microphone, give your name and address to the clerk. Seeing none, I'd like a motion to close, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
And we need a motion to
Need a
adopt.
motion to adopt.
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 34-2014 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Resolution 439-14.
Is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 44-2014, an ordinance amending Part 1 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code entitled Administrative Legislation to add Chapter 10 entitled Rules of Order.
Have a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 44-2014 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on December 9th, 2014 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 440-14.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 45-2014, an ordinance amending Part 2 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code, Chapter 170, Section 23, entitled Turns at Intersections, and Section 64, entitled Schedule 25, Prohibited Turns at Intersections.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 45-2014 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on December 9th, 2014 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 441-14.
This is an introduction of ordinance number 46-2014, an ordinance amending Part 2 of the City of Hackensack Municipal Code, Chapter 109, entitled Littering.
May I have a motion, please?
Offered. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 46-2014 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on December 9th, 2014, at 7:00 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. And that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 442-14.
Is a resolution appointing John Flanagan as a member of the Bergen County Community Development Committee.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 443-14.
Is a resolution authorizing the reappointment of special officers for the 2015 calendar year.
May I please have a motion?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 444-14.
Is a resolution authorizing the issuance of requests for qualifications for professional services to the City of Hackensack and rejecting responses received from a previous request for qualifications for city prosecutor and assistant prosecuting attorney.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 445-14.
Is a resolution authorizing the proposed Bergen County Community Development Grants for 2015-2016.
May I please have a motion?
Offered.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 446-14.
Is a resolution authorizing the tax refunds.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 447-14.
It is a resolution expressing the importance to recognize the strength of local pension funding in regards to recommendations from Governor Christie's Pension and Health Benefit Study Commission.
May I please have a motion?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 448-14.
Is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a termination of deed notice.
May I please have a motion?
Offered. Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 449-14.
It is a resolution authorizing the tax appeal attorney to settle the cases on the attached list dated November 21st, 2014 that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
May I please have a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 450-14.
This is a resolution authorizing a CDBG for road resurfacing for 2015-2016.
May I have a motion, please?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 451-14.
A resolution authorizing a CDBG for the ADA handicapped ramps for 2015-2016.
May I please have a motion?
Offer it.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. And last but not least, paying the bills, Resolution 452-14.
Okay, this is the authorization for payment of bills. The current fund having $657,032.14. grants $360, payroll $1,497,258.07, public parking $6,504.55, capital is $1,599,441.24, trust account $225,559.19, the total expenditures being $3,986,155.19, and interfunds and transfers $98,293.41.
Have a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. Please have a motion open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, at this time, anybody who'd like to come to the podium, please step forward. Give your name and address to the clerk. You have 5 minutes. I ask that you act politely. I ask that you address everybody up here through the chair, which is me. If you want to direct a question towards somebody, it's through me. It's up to them whether they answer you or not. Okay. Sir, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thanks.
In regards to the handicap ramps,
Mm-hmm.
why do we put at the cost of the taxpayers? At the cost of the taxpayers, putting in handicap ramps where there are no sidewalks, on corners, on property in the middle of the streets. I know that were required. My question when I used to work was, people would come up to me and go, so when are they gonna put the sidewalks in? And the best one is Spring Valley. It goes up and down, it looks like a ramp for kids on skateboards.
Right.
My second question is, do you know when it will be possible that these meetings can be televised so everybody can watch it on public access TV like every surrounding town, Hicktown and around, this county can watch? Besides streaming it on my Kindle, why can't I watch it on TV? That's all I have for you.
Okay, actually, the second question, the first question, Mr. Coley, I don't know why that, I'll look into why those handicap ramps are put in and the sidewalks are never done. I don't know what the requirement is or why they would require a handicap ramp where there's no sidewalk in the first place, assuming that we're just going to put sidewalks in. But I can't answer that question, but I will look into it. But the city manager probably could answer your other question, because he did have a conversation this week down at the league about cable TV.
Why don't you give me a call and there's some complications with doing that.
I'll preset my statement, though. When cable was first agreed to come into this town by the mayor and council, we were given a channel, and we were told at that time, we can publicize our meetings, and the high school system had the finest AV system in the state, that they can utilize it whenever to put these shows on the TV like that. And that's now been 20-some years later.
It's an issue between cable TV.
But that was the deal they made with us to come to town.
I will check into it.
Okay, thank you.
Rich Gilbert, Clinton Place, Hackensack. I first want to thank the mayor, council, and city manager for the cooperation with the Hackensack Rotary on our food drive that ended last week. My son Stephen really spearheaded it. We ended up getting thousands of pounds of food, and it's been distributed to the homeless. There will be a further distribution tomorrow with stuff as it continues to come in. And City Hall was probably one of the best collection points in the city. The city employees, the staff, police, fire, everyone in the DPW was most generous. I don't know how many pickups we made in City Hall in a 3.5 week period. So for that, I thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, right before Veterans Day, actually the Friday before Veterans Day, in the Hackensack Chronicle, the entire back page ad was from a veterans organization that's It's an advisory board that was established by the Teaneck Mayor and Council. It's, of course, a non-paid volunteer board. I really felt very, very strange looking in the Hackensack Chronicle, and I brought a copy for the city manager, of a gratis page given by North Jersey Media to the Teaneck Advisory Council advertising their Veterans Day program in the city of Hackensack, a paper that's dedicated to the city of Hackensack. We have failed somewhere. Now, veterans' causes are near and dear to my heart. I put many years in. I know our police and fire department collectively have well over 200 members. Between the city, we have many more hundreds of members. We have active reservists on the city pad that would be delighted to be part of a committee. Mayor Melfi did a phenomenal job. He picked up, Ernie was a hard act to follow. You folks were all there. Mayor Melfi did a fabulous job. I think he should have a committee behind him, supporting him. I plan on helping in any way I can. We really owe a debt of gratitude to the many, many veterans. We have men that have lost their lives in many different conflicts in Hackensack. We owe them a little more than to have Teaneck steal our back page on our paper. This cannot happen again. I urge you, please, be proactive on this, Mayor. Memorial Day is literally around the corner, and I promise you, if you step forward to that Chronicle, this page could be Hackensack. So I'm going to give it to the city manager. I'm sure you can do something with it.
Thank you.
Before I leave, I just want to say, these police officers tonight, I happen to know the three of them. In a large police department, to know the three tonight was, lucky. Matt Jacobson, a decorated Navy veteran. He's been on the police department 5 or 6 years, truly a great guy. Served in the United States Navy, did a phenomenal job, came out decorated. He was on a destroyer, he was on a carrier, great military record. Ed Meneses and Al DeLeon, two phenomenal guys. My wife was on her way to 7-Eleven, and she said as she entered the Esplanade, she had police cars coming in every direction. She turned to look. She watched the entire thing unfold, and she told me, she said, I'm telling you, without those officers, the way they handled it, we would have had a man's attempt at losing his life come true. She described to me the manner in which DeLeon distracted the guy, sprayed him. Ed Meneses tackled him to the ground, and I got to tell you, surviving Ed Meneses tackling you,
Yeah, you're not kidding.
We're lucky the guy's with us. It could have had a very, very different result. We're looking at what's unfolding in Ferguson now, and that certainly was, in my opinion, a very correct act by the policeman who was being attacked inside his vehicle by this guy. I'm not getting involved in the semantics of that. I'm just saying we owe these cops a debt of gratitude. Somebody is living today that had CPR performed on them. They're alive today, walking around. That would not have been the case. We have another man incarcerated, but he too is alive, and his family this Thanksgiving can, benefit from having this guy with us. And Hackensack wasn't anything but, made proud by the actions of these three officers. And I really think we should all be very happy about that. And I wish everyone a very good Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Mr. Gilbert. Thank you.
Good evening, Kathleen Salvo, 184 Hudson Street. They're two of my favorites, Ed and DeLeon. And it shows when you have a good police department headed by a good person. We changed our police department around. A couple of years ago, we were a disaster. We were dysfunctional. And it shows when you have a good head of a department that the department can come through. And we have a couple of departments that need good heads so that we could make them better. I was teasing Ed because I said, well, he was taking him down. He's still very vulnerable because the vest only protects your chest area. He could have got slashed in the neck. He could have slashed in the arm. I mean, this was really, really very dangerous. And they handled it well, and I knew they would. Ed was with us for a few years when we had the bicycle. We had a block watch, and the bicyclist he used to ride around our neighborhood and protect our neighborhood. He was really good. He was hands-on. He knew everybody who did what, and it was a very good way of policing with the bicycles because they were able to get behind yards and in streets where the cars couldn't go. So we've been friends for a long time, and he's just newly married, so that's nice too. But again, the police department is headed by an individual who knows who he's doing and is paid off. Very professional. Our police department, I think the best word is professionalism. The other thing, in answer to your Spring Valley Road ramps, I too asked that question because it was a county road. I asked my Tom Conley. The minute they get grant money to do a street, they automatically have to put the handicap ramps in. Doesn't matter that, and what do we drop? I said, what do we drop? The handicapped person by parachute to the corner so we can cross? It really doesn't make any sense. But I think it's time that we need to make an ordinance in the city of Hackensack. Every block should have sidewalks. We shouldn't be, some have and some have not. And the people that don't have them, there's no such thing as grandfathered in. We should make a code that they have to make a sidewalk. We lost the sidewalk by Costco. It was never put in. I got a sidewalk by the homeless because to get their C of O. Every street should have sidewalk. There are some streets up North Hackensack that do not have them, but then we have to shovel our sidewalk. It's the right of way. So some of us do, but some of us don't have a sidewalk. We're not parameters where the driveways go into the house. We should make it a code that there are sidewalks in every part of Hackensack. We're a city. A big part of the city are pedestrians. A lot of people walk. A lot of people walk all over, and we do utilize them. It's not just a car community. And now getting back to bicycles on the sidewalk. That's been one of my pet peeves for a while. Bicycles are allowed to ride on the sidewalk. There is a code. I have it in my pocket? Well, I have it, 63-whatever, that says that bicycles are not allowed on the sidewalk because they creep up behind you. And on Main Street especially, Father Laff was not here. He left, but is he still here? Yes, he could tell you about his little episode walking home from Teaneck because he had eye drops put in his eye and he couldn't drive.
The
And he
city
almost
manager can tell you too.
I can tell you
Thank you.
too.
Okay, so it's two people in this room. That confirms my whole thing here with these bicyclists.
Say no more.
Thank you. So we need to enforce it, and especially by me. I have these ladies walking with their strollers in the street, and I go, "Why are you walking the street?" Well, if we walk on the sidewalk, the bicycles hit our little kids. So they're walking in the street, and the other alternative is to get hit by a car. This does not make sense. And in New York, I mean, there's bicycles all over. The delivery people, the minute they get to the location, they dismount that bicycle and they walk it to the house, the apartment to deliver that Chinese food or whatever they deliver. So it's very important, and especially Main Street. I was walking in one direction. I just turned a little bit to go into the store, and I almost got. He's behind me, a 200-pound man. I get hit by a bike with a 200-pound man. So I think we need to look into that. The cable television. Chris was right. It did happen because my Kim was on TV every morning, and that was what, in the 86, 87, 88. Every morning she got on TV. I used to go home and watch her, and she was on TV. And cable, I guess they decided to get their foot in the door. They would let us televise the morning show, and she would give us the weather and talk about the lunch and all the other stuff that was happening. And we were on cable TV. So I think because we only could have cable TV, and they're like they got us. We have to, and they always up it, that we should be getting some kind of perks from them. Otherwise, we'll look to get another company. We could threaten them. So I think that's it. I just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Oh, my right-hand turn on Vreeland to Hudson. Debbie, did they go out to Moonachie into the county? Is that part of the directions, right?
The letters went out, yes.
Okay, so as soon as that gets back, we could, and it's just going to be 4-ton trucks, the limit. The trucks. It's only the trucks. It's not cars.
No.
That's what it said. I read it.
Whatever it says.
Right. Whatever we talked about. Okay. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey. It's okay. It's good. Thank you.
Regina DePasco, Parker Avenue. Mr. Trost, I got a email from Hackensack OEM telling me it's going to snow tomorrow.
I know.
Okay. Just saying. Also, earlier at the COW, you were having discussions about the committees and the boards that need participation. I think Rich Gelber just demonstrated why we do need the celebration committee. We do need somebody who does that. I don't know who does the tree lighting. Is that Upper Main takes care of it? But we need citizens. We need Veterans Day. it just sort of, who's doing it, how's it happening, whatever. I think we do need a celebration committee of some sort for major holidays to make sure that everything is covered, that things are taken care of. And, oh, the special officers, there's like 47, that's all of them, and they're all class 1?
Those are just the class ones.
Those are the class 1s. Scott Young's name is spelled wrong.
How'd they spell them?
Y-O-U-N-D?
Oh.
Okay. Regarding the rules of order, I know it was introduced tonight, but I want to give you just my thoughts on it. On 10-4E2C, the public portion comment, are you considering changing the time limit? Because it says by resolution and it doesn't have anything in there as far as the time. On D, right after it, give name and address. We don't have to give our address. That's not required. State the subject you wish to discuss. That's not required either. I am just, from many years of experience of doing this, I'm giving you my 2 cents on it. 10-5 demeanor. I'd like to double check how well that squares with the First Amendment. People can be loud. People can have remarks that are irrelevant to public business. It's free speech. It's their 5 minutes up here, or whatever it's going to be, if it's going to change. 10-5B4, no hand clapping. Then we wouldn't have been able to clap for all these officers this evening. There's just, I understand the purpose of it. However, you got to be careful how you do it, because if you're going to restrict people, it just, how does it square with the First Amendment? And then on C, it says, any member of the public who makes such remarks. How about counsel? This should apply to you too, to your demeanor towards us. And how will that be addressed? That's very important, because as I said before, it goes both ways, and the tone is quite often set by what's happened up there. And one other thing I would really love to see is every one of you put your cell phones up on in front of you, so there's no cell phone use during meetings. That's often a question whether or not it's not allowed, it's not permitted, but everything that you've put in here as far as OPMA and the minutes and everything else is all by statute too. I would like to see something as far as cell phone use up there. Honestly, I would love to see every one of you put your cell phones up in public view, so it not being used. We can be sure that it's not being used unless you have 2, but that could happen.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, you do have 2. See, I knew it. How many you have? You've got 2. Yeah, you have a work one, you have a personal one. I understand that. But it's a question quite often out here. What are they looking at?
I've seen people have 3.
Okay. But it's a question. What are they looking at? What are they looking down at? And people wonder, And if you have that rule hard and fast, nobody, you guys have to self-police. You guys have to keep each other in check. You guys have to make sure that you guys are following and set the example. If, you want the demeanor of the public to be civil, we need to feel we're being treated with respect also. Turn your cell phone off. Anyway, I hope you consider my input on the rules of order. We need it, absolutely, we do need it. However, we don't need to feel, like I said, there are certain things that are not required, and the demeanor part goes both ways. Okay.
Thank you.
And I'd like to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving
Same
too.
to you.
And safe, stay dry, warm, and I hope you don't have to travel.
Thank you.
Talk to OEM, John Allen might have something else for that.
How you doing? Earl Ward, Eileen Terrace, Hackensack. You know, it's been a couple of meetings since I've been here, and if you know, I like to do due diligence. Right now, I still really have nothing else better to do but to sit at home and dig. It regrets me and pains me, Mr. Mayor, to sit here and tell you I told you so. With the help of a few egos sitting up there and your former city manager, you guys have killed the rec. I had 294 kids playing basketball last year. You're not even tapping 150 barely. I've got emails on my phone right now, or texts of people who have gone down there or ended it last year and was so terrible that they're asking me what's other alternatives or where am I at. Another young lady who happens to work with my girlfriend, they must have kept my registrations from last year, and they're calling people and willing to put their kids in for free just to get the numbers. They went up $10 on the registration, but I hear they got 20 sponsors. You know, other people can't afford the extra $10. You know, at $65, when I was running the program, I more than covered the expenses to run that program at $65. Matter of fact, I ran in the red every year. So you didn't need to even go up $10, especially if you got sponsors. It's a shame that I know of at least 20 kids, and I told you this, Mr. Mayor, when I saw you, they're in Teaneck. I know kids in Ridgefield Park playing, from Hackensack. They're in Inglewood playing. They're not playing at the rec, and they're not playing for you either, Mr. Sims. You know? This is Hackensack kids going to other towns to play basketball because of the BS that's going on in this town and at the rec. You know, it was all political in removing me and Greg Leosi because we wasn't kissing the butts of a few of you guys up there. And that's a shame because you only hurted the kids. While you're still putting money in your pockets, you're hurting the kids that are coming up. You know, I'm not the great I am. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the great I am, but I did have some personality. I am very somewhat respected in this town. I did give you a petition. Well, I didn't even give you all the signatures that I have finally received, but I had over 400 people sign a petition to bring me back. You know, you want to say that I resigned, but obviously your personnel director doesn't know how to read very well because my resignation letter pointed the fact that it was done under hostility and duress. You know, you killed a rec program. You came out to say you're going to be the rec council, and you killed the rec. And there's no disrespect to Miss Ruggiero. I love her. She's great. I've worked with her for 16 years down there. I learned a lot from her. But like any other good corporation, the head is only good as the rest of the body. You remove me and somebody else, and you put two people in there who never even spent 30 seconds in that building because they're nothing but puppets for you guys. And that's a shame. That's a crying shame that our kids between the ages of 5 or 14, either they're not. I know another young lady came up to me the other day, her daughter's crying because they went to the rec and there's not enough girls in her age group for her to sign up, so they didn't take her registration. The mother doesn't have a car, so the girl has no other alternative. And she's not good enough to make your team, Mr. Sims, or I don't think she's old enough. Nor do they have $250 to pay for your program. And getting on you, Mr. Sims, I once again went back on the Department of Community Affairs website, which I have happened to print it out. You still did not declare your income that you make from junior basketball, which you do make an income from, which is totally legal. I expressed that months ago. You can pay yourself. It's legal. But you know what? You're in direct conflict of interest being on a rec board and running a youth program in this city that you make money off city property for free. You know, I voted for you guys, and I told you before, like a few other people, I'm really sorry. Besides Mr. LaBrosse, Mrs. Catastrino, and maybe Mrs. Greenman, because I really don't know much about her, you know, besides what I hear, and I don't always go by what I hear. I go by direct relay, you know, but it's a shame. It's a shame what you guys have done and are still doing. You know? You did nothing but hurt this town so far. Well, our youth, I'll put it like that, our youth in this town are hurting. You know? I get all kind of calls, and when I run into people in the streets and stuff, man, how you say the rec sucks right now. And like I said again, that is not a direct shine or anything else on Miss Ruggiero. You know what I'm saying? Because the top is only as good as who's underneath them. You know, any CEO is only as good as the people he has working for him. And Mr. Mayor, right now, the people you got working underneath you are making you look real bad.
Next, please.
I'm Richard Serbo, Spring Valley Avenue, Hackensack. Spring Valley Avenue has been mentioned tonight already, but I, of course, want to reiterate the problem there. There's too much heavy traffic on that road. I'm just telling you, you're welcome to spend a week at my house to prove it to yourself, okay? And they're speeding, okay? They're going up and down that street at a clip that you would drive on a highway, okay? Even the buses. So there's too much heavy traffic on the road. It shakes the houses. It's absolutely ridiculous. Sit on my porch for a day, okay? You're welcome. And it's absolutely incredible that every road parallel with it has no traffic. Elm, Fairmount is wider than Spring Valley, Poplar, Ross, nothing. And like I say, Fairmount is a wider avenue there. I don't know. I guess that's the way it was built at the time. And there's no traffic on that road at all. And Spring Valley Avenue is a highway. So maybe we'll change it to Spring Valley Highway or something to that extent. As for recreation, when we were kids, all the gyms were open. And Coach Delator always looked after the recreation department, and it was an open city. Everyone was free to go to every gymnasium in every neighborhood was open in the winter for basketball, and every gym was filled, packed. You know, it was a great thing for the winter months for people to use those gymnasiums. What else can I say here? The bicycle thing, I kind of disagree, because people are traveling on sidewalks with their bicycles because you will get killed in the street. The traffic around town dominates the roads. There's lots of speeding. There's lots of dangerous traffic in Hackensack, okay? I stopped riding a bicycle in Hackensack because it's too dangerous. Okay, you can't go from one side of town to the other without almost getting killed a few times. So if someone's on the sidewalk, they're on the sidewalk generally for safety. And okay, if they're running into someone, that's a problem too. But you go to the sidewalk with your bicycle because the streets are just ridiculous. Okay. I'm not sure what else I was going to say. I didn't plan this. I just listened, and I just wanted to respond. As for what I'm thankful for is that there are people that have generous hearts, and that they are giving to those less fortunate everywhere. But there needs to be more of it. I don't think there's enough of it, and I think we're too concerned about things at the top. I think we ought to be concerned with people at the bottom, and it's just a way of thinking, and I don't see enough of it. As for the food drives, I think that's a great thing, and it's helped lots of people with nothing. But there are many people with nothing, and I urge the mayor and the council to possibly think about some sort of rank and file jobs at the bottom to hand out. Why not? I mean, all we hear about are jobs at the top. You know, hey, we hired another CEO or something, whatever they are, CFO. Is that you?
I'm a CEO, yeah.
Oh, you're CEO. Okay, so you're
The only one.
okay. Well, you know, why not do a jobs program, Mr. Trost? The discussion earlier with Reverend Jackson and his colleague was about social peace, keeping social peace when there's problems. And the problem in Ferguson, I think, had to do with a robbery, wasn't it? Or didn't it stem from a robbery? And probably the kid didn't have a job, and he was shot and killed. So jobs, helping people that don't have jobs, maybe a Hackensack Civic Center. We used to have a civic center, but why not a new one where you can show up as a Hackensack resident and get help for everything? Just job help, housing help, everything, anything.
Rich, I'm
and-
sorry, but your 5 minutes are up.
All right, one last thing I want to say is that the last several meetings, there's been lots of sniping at one of your council people, and I think it's outrageous that you didn't use the gavel to silence them. She's your councilwoman, and so as a citizen of Hackensack, I apologize to Ms. Greenman for allowing that in our council room. Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sarbo.
Mayor and council.
Be fair about it. Be fair. This is just what I'm worried about.
Next, please.
You can't let him go over.
City Council, this is Perry Jackson. I know that I actually shared a little bit in the COW meeting. And again, I'm not totally familiar with the 5-minute session and when the 5-minute session could be shared. That's why I said, with earlier stating 5 minutes. We have a team of mayors, council members, all those involved, CFOs, CEOs, who are running the city. So, it's not a matter of, how many problems can we direct at what we're not really happy or, proud about. It's one thing when we have a team, it's in place, try and work the best that you can to try and eliminate the problems, fix the problems by giving resolutions or solutions to the problem, if there is one. And griping and complaining about every issue that we can find under the sun won't be a solution. It'll bring more questions that maybe need to be answered. But definitely, even with the questions that come up, they hopefully have to be solution provisional. Even at least Mr. Montesano, when I was growing up, he brought food to the parks. He was there to help the kids who could have some, meals in the packages. Those little things do add up to a lot. And, same thing with the cultural arts building. When that's in place and if they decide to have a video person who becomes a part of taping those sessions, whether it be with the company that I have established their name, but I have to reestablish in reality of the equipment. That's something, like I said, that can come back to the forefront, which is if they want to televise it for cable programs or whatever. But even with what do you call it? Like the gentleman was mentioning about Jesus Christ, the sports, the activities. That is and was and should be an important part of, the kids giving them something else to do if they have nothing else to do after school, such as staying out of trouble and staying away from crime activities that could get them in juvenile detention or, juvenile situations that can lead to later on problems. We definitely have had something in place many years ago, and it was definitely the aim to try and prevent things that could keep the kids off the street, definitely provide meals for the kids who had the summertime off and packaged meals. Sometimes I've seen the church, some groups going to 2nd Street Park cooking, and having cookouts while the basketball teams were playing and, giving that as an opportunity to sell food, have it as the outdoor band shelter for the food cooking. which they had as sales. Some kids may not have the fortune and luxury of their parents having the money to provide for these things. I may not be the richest person in the world, and I may not have all that a lot of people may have the luxury of, such as, let's say, a loan or a business startup again, restart a business loan. But that doesn't mean that that those who have the ability, and that's the decision-making ability, to maybe consider should a budget be, put in place, or should the allocation of funds be made available for anything of the nature to continue as opposed to diminish. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you, sir. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Steve Gilbert, 304 Clinton Place, and all good things, as always, I promise. First, again, just to echo the thank you on behalf of the Rotary for the food drive. It was our most successful food drive in the several years that we've been doing it. So thank you to everyone that participated in that food drive. It was very nice tonight to see the officers being recognized for their service. We have a Class 1 fire department. We've got one of the best fire departments in the state of New Jersey, if not the country. Their contract's coming up next year, so hopefully they get a fair shake too. We see tonight these officers. And we're reminded of what a great police department we have. So I hope that Mrs. Greenman took note and appreciated that. As far as all of our blue-collar contract workers, I hope that the snow doesn't come tomorrow. But if they come, if that snow does come, we're going to be reminded of what a great blue-collar department we have as well. And I hope that Mr. Battaglia takes some time to recognize that. That's really all I have tonight, other than just to say, again, just echoing, use the resources that you do have in this town. I mean, you have an Elks Lodge. We have a great Veterans Committee. We do a lot of great work with the veterans. And in my lifetime, this is the first council that I've seen. And I'm not faulting you. It's no fault of your own. I'm just pointing something out. This is the first council in my lifetime that we don't have a veteran on the council. And I would hope that you guys do form a committee and really pay attention to the veterans affairs and veteran activities in our community, because it is very important. Have a great Thanksgiving and enjoy.
Thank you.
Is that good? Is that better? Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Paul in Calcaterra. I'm the gentleman who lives next to the Cultural Center. We hear somebody going in the back on, oh, it's him again? I just wanted to say I had some information, I guess about a month ago that I gave you, about 6 weeks, and when Mr. Trost got into office. And I just want to say that in the time that he's been here, I have not really had to call him. So I think he must be doing his job pretty good. So I'm very happy with that. And I'm looking forward to having a meeting with him next week about the new performances that are going to happen, hopefully in the next building. If not, I'll be up here complaining again. Can I ask you a question? I see some construction vehicles or things happening in the new cultural center there on Atlantic and State. How's the progress coming along for that building?
Well, that's there for the park.
Oh,
the park
okay.
behind it. All those, they have their trailer and their park their vehicles out front by the front of the building. But they're all working on the park right now.
So they're working on the park and
Nothing's being done upstairs right now.
Okay.
But we're
All right.
anticipating something pretty soon.
But the park does have an amphitheater,
Okay, all right.
outdoor.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, I'm hoping that, we're going to continue this positive motion that I've had for the last, a month and a half, and that I can at least, count on you when I call you to have something done to put a leash on that unprofessional person who heads the rec department over there, the mail anyway. The other thing that I wanted to ask about is what happens in our recycling garbage pails when the city comes, and I live in an area where there's a lot of garbage put out from, well, not a lot, but there's these big containers that people put cans and I guess commingle garbage with recycling. Is that separated anywhere in our system?
Usually goes, the recycling goes to the transfer stations and done there.
So it's done at a transfer station. In other words, if garbage is commingled, in some of
together.
The smaller one is for recycle, the big one is for regular garbage.
Okay, but on our corners, there's containers where people throw things.
Oh,
both.
you're talking about the public containers.
Yes,
for
public
recycling.
containers. Yes. Is anything separated there? No. Okay, because I have this idea.
There are actually the bus stop ones where they have the three different ones. Yes,
Yeah.
those are.
Okay, so those
Certain ones are.
Okay, and those are relatively new. Am I correct?
Yes, but the regular trash receptacle where
Yeah.
everybody throws everything.
Okay,
in,
because, I'm a recycling person, and I hate to see things, thrown away that can be reused again. And I see sometimes, people picking up plastics and throw them in one container, and they throw glass, or they throw garbage. And I say, where does that happen? When I was in Point Pleasant about 2 years ago, they had a container that was made like a bottle. And people would put their recycling in there, the glass and, the plastics. And then maybe 20 feet away, they had a garbage pail. So I'm thinking that might be a great idea. I looked into that because I work for Bergen Community College, and I'm hoping maybe that I can get them to do that too, because we have a lot of people who throw things away and commingle things that are going to go to the garbage. Is that possible that we could have something like that? I'm a visual person, and to see a bottle that's made of recycled plastic that says, please recycle, instead of just, or maybe have a garbage pail next to that. So it would be a little bit more work for, the recycling blue-collar people, but it's a benefit for the future of our children. So it's just a suggestion. I'll bring it up again. I don't know if maybe when I see Mr. Trost next week, maybe we could
Well, you can
kick
discuss
it around.
I'm
and-
sure that's something we could look at on
It's
Main
an-
Street.
It would be an idea. I mean, I don't see too much of it around, but, it would be good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your help, and I wish you all a happy Turkey Day.
Same to you, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? Well, there's always got to be one more.
Save the best for last. They save the best for last.
The best for last, that's right.
I will be brief. Father Brian Laffler, St. Anthony's Church, 72 Lodi Street in Hackensack. PBA chaplain and the captain of the First Ward Neighborhood Block Watch for the past 9 years. Eddie Meneses, Officer Ed Meneses, was the first officer assigned to our detail in the neighborhood on a bicycle back in 2005 and did a spectacular job. As far as I'm concerned, Ed could write the book on community policing. Al De Leon has also served the neighborhood block watch as one of the officers that have been sent to that detail and met with us in meetings throughout several summers. Both of them are outstanding police officers. They both recently passed the sergeant's test. And the event that they handled so well is an indication of their skill, of their wisdom, of their professionalism, and if those two officers are the face of what our department's leadership will look like into the future, I would say that Hackensack's Police Department is in very good shape. Officer Matt Jacobson, I've known from having intervened in several very sticky and delicate situations in the neighborhood over the years, homes that I've been called to that were in crisis and handled things beautifully. I'm just here tonight to give kudos to our police department and to our police director and every single member of our department. This is a good city. Our police department keeps it well. our fire department keeps it well. Our fire department is the #1 in the state, one of 48 across the country. Thank you so much for keeping the city as it is and leading it forward. May God bless you all and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Father. Appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none, a motion to close to the public?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Greenman.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay. Mr. Battaglia?
Well, in November 20, I was an honor to represent the mayor and the rest of the council in honoring Mr. Luis de Arminio for his service to our country and community. Then attend the board, or the condo board, and I believe I answered most of your questions related to the sports. The 2 soccer teams that we got, they finished in third place. And I know that one of the kids, that he doesn't play for me this year, but he's been looked by the Red Bulls and the U.S. Federation. They're going to try to draft that kid. He lives in your block, Father Love. And I just want to wish everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving. Okay, thank you for coming.
I'm also very thankful that we had the opportunity tonight to acknowledge some of our police officers and the fine job they do. And, as many have mentioned here tonight, we have an outstanding police department, we have an outstanding fire department, and I think we also have to be thankful for, we have a group of outstanding city employees in general here in our town. And that's something that all of our residents need to be proud of and thankful for, because I know we on the council are. I'm also thankful tonight for having some good suggestions brought to us. Mr. Coley, about televising the meetings. This has been, a sore point with me and with most of our council members here for a very, very long time. You can't believe the hoops you have to jump through. I mean, if it isn't the cable companies, then it's an issue between the Board of Ed and the city. And we did, as the mayor mentioned and the city manager mentioned, we brainstormed again when we were in Atlantic City at the league convention this past week about talking to the right people and just making this happen. It should not be this hard. I would have never, if I was Kathy sitting on that side, I'd be saying exactly what you're saying. And I'm telling you, it's just been one thing after another, and we're not giving up. Okay, so it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Also, the suggestion about having the Veterans Committee or some type of local veterans organization, I think that's an excellent, excellent suggestion. And yes, everyone misses Ernie because he really pulled a lot of those things together. And, ex-mayor Melfi did a wonderful job at our veterans celebration, this past month. But it is something that, needs to continue. And I think, we do have a lot of veterans in our town. We have a lot of veterans in our police and fire and throughout our city. And I think, that we owe to them as well. And I think that's another very, very good suggestion I think that we're going to take up on. Mr. Pasco mentioned about the board appointments. We're closing in on the end of the year. In December is, a stone's throw away. And we will have a number of openings on a lot of our boards. Many of you folks that come to meetings, you show you want to participate, and you're willing to participate, and we welcome your participation. I think by next week, Debbie and Dave, we should have those things posted.
Posted online.
All right, take a look next week, give us till next week, and take a look on the website, and all of the openings on any of the boards will be available there. I mean, you really just have to submit a letter of intent. I think there's a form they could fill out as well.
There's a form online.
There's a form online. And, please participate. We welcome seeing some new faces and being involved in some of our boards. I also want to wish everyone a happy and safe and healthy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends. I know I'm looking forward to those things, and I wish it for everyone that's here. And I look forward to seeing all of you on December 1st at our tree lighting. Have a great night.
Mr. Sims.
Well, I'm honored and humbled that, the Rotary Club put a box in, City Hall and was able to feed some less unfortunate people. And Rich and Steve, keep up the good work. Thank you. To the police officers, I take my hat off to you. It could have been a really bad situation. Also, this Thursday, 2 days from now, if it doesn't snow, Hackensack plays Teaneck here in Hackensack at 10:30. Let's go Comets. And to everyone out there, if you have a family member or a friend or know someone that needs a place to eat on Thursday, Mount Olive Baptist Church and Harley's Irish Pub are feeding the homeless, or feeding the ones less unfortunate, or just feeding, if you don't want to be alone. Mount Olive is from 12 to 2, and Harley's is from 10:30 to 1 p.m. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, and happy Thanksgiving.
Ms. Greenman?
I'm going to take this opportunity, excuse me, to thank you, Mr. Serba. I appreciate your kind remarks, and I appreciate you noticing the disparate treatment that I was receiving here and there. Your words redeemed quite a few people. Thank you so much. I also would like to thank the police officers for their bravery, for their decisiveness, and for their restraint. They took a volatile situation that could have been just god-awful and made a great decision. I commend on doing it. I thank the clergy that participated in thanking the police. I also thank the representative from NAACP, and let's not forget what's going on elsewhere. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and safe travel if you're going anywhere. Thank you.
Recreation. Here are some comments about recreation tonight. I haven't had one complaint about the recreation department. I just had a meeting down there recently. Haven't had one complaint. City manager, any complaints?
I haven't had any either.
All right. Whenever you have a change in something, you're always going to have some people who may not like it as much as what happened before. Our recreation department is fine. Wrestling, I believe, is overbooked as usual. Basketball, it could be just a down year. It could be some undermining thing going on there that we're not aware of. But our recreation department is in great shape and will continue to thrive and grow. So, and anybody has an issue with recreation, call either Pat Ruggiero, the head of recreation, or call our city manager, and we'll take care of it. The police officers we honored tonight, Reverend Jackson made a statement which it rang so true. Had this gone the other way, this would not be the Hackensack we see right now. It would have changed the face of the city for God knows how long. I don't know anything about Ferguson, Missouri. I know the storyline of what happened there, but I can tell you it's not the same city it was before that event. And it's very tough. But the difference in Hackensack is, and another key word that Mr. Jackson said, Reverend Jackson said, was diversity. He talked about the diversity of our police department. We're a diverse city, and I've got a shirt that proudly says it, that our strength is our diversity. The fact that we're all different types of people living and getting along so well in this city is what makes this city so special, and will continue to do so. And I think that's one of the reasons why that episode ended up, I don't want to say happy, but much better than it could have been. And again, kudos to those guys. What a great job, including Mr. Jacobson, for saving that gentleman's or that person's life. We all attended, or some of us, three or four of us, plus other city employees, attended the League of Municipalities, which is in every November down in Atlantic City. It's 3 days of classes, and you really get grilled and put through some interesting situations, and it's always very educational, and we're down there working when we go down there, so it's a good thing. Grants. You saw a lot of community block grants going out tonight, more than we've had in a while, which is great. There was quite a few dollars went across this table tonight going into important programs that support all different types of community-based activities and different organizations. Redevelopment. Redevelopment is, I don't want to say cruising along, because that would be an understatement. It's flying along. So you're going to see very soon At 150-170, the demo is about to start there. So you're going to actually see something happening on Main Street, on our Main Street. And it's going to be quite exciting when that building comes down and they start, going up with a beautiful 380-unit, 14-story mixed-use building. Where are we? The special officers, I know there were about 40 or so. They're also an integral part of our city and very important, and they do serve a purpose. I know for a while there was probably a time when we had too many, but they're at a good number right now, and it was good to see them sign back on. Rotary, great job by Stephen heading that up. Stephen Galver, I want to thank him personally. Quite a few people, it sounds like quite a few people are going to have a much better Thanksgiving because of that effort of the Rotary Club. And I'm happy that to hear that a lot of the food came out of this building, so that was very good to hear. I'm all for the Veterans Committee. I'm committed to helping our veterans. They've got a soft spot in my heart, or I have a soft spot in my heart for them. Mr. Canestrino said the key word, we owe them, all right? We're not sitting here if it's not for them. God knows what it would be if it wasn't for them, for all the years of service, from all the different wars they've served in. Is Mr. Coley here or did he leave? No. I mistakenly said the city manager, where are you? Actually, it was a conversation with Al Dibb, who spoke with somebody down at the league. I thought it was you that told me, but it was sitting here. It was Al Dibb who did have a conversation, and there is a good possibility. He spoke with a key woman who works for Cablevision, and she said it's totally feasible to put it in here and have it at the Board of Ed, so we could have our own. Yeah. Well, we feel like we've been kind of misled and been held hostage because the Board of Ed has the box, per se, and it's kind of like, oh, it's our box. Well, we're going to get our own box. So that's basically what it's going to come down to. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's something good for Al Dibb, because that's right. That's right up his alley, so we'll turn that over to Al Dibb. The tree lighting, Monday night, it's a great event. I love it. I bring my grandkids, they love it. It's hot chocolate, popcorn, carolers. Tree looks beautiful when it's lit. It's a beautiful, beautiful sight to see. And hope to see some of you there. I want to wish everybody in the city, everybody watching on YouTube, a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving, and have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you. Motion to close.
Offer.
I always forget that part.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Wait, you don't want to do the roll call?